I'm Andre and this is Osteo Knits. Welcome to my channel where I talk knitting, spinning, general fiber love, and whatever else. I'm a university professor and my area of expertise is human osteology, hence my friends here. Welcome. It feels like it's been a while. I don't know why. It has only been a month, but it feels like it's been a while. This episode is purposely delayed so as to not spoil any secrets, but let's just get into it. I have one finished object, but it is not with me, and that is the secret. Krista at the Frosted Stitch is releasing a new collection on August 15th. The collection is inspired by the movie The Mummy. Krista has been cooking up this idea for a long time. She has put quite a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it and cooked up a gorgeous collection of 28 colors. In addition to that, she has designed some patterns. So my finished knit was the sample for her scarab cowl in knit. So I will pop in a picture of the cowl because it is in her hands now so that she could get pictures because it will be posted soon. It is made using 3 skeins of DK weight. The main color is a Book of the Living, a beautiful yellow gold color. Contrast colors are blue gold, which is a nice vivid blue, and that is the main body of the scarab. And the third contrast color, which is largely used for the ribbing, is Ardeth, a very deep, dark black color. These all came beautifully into the finished product. It was a bit of a task to knit this because it was 3 colors of stranded color work with a very long float, so I did have to adapt how I normally do my ladder back jacquard, but I'm very, very pleased with the final product. So yes, I will post pictures on here showing it off. That really took a lot of my energy to try to finish that because I wanted to have it in her hands as soon as I could. July was also very busy with Tour de Fleece and spinning. Perhaps I should move on to that next. Yeah, I have a big pile of spinning. Here's all my spinning. So I think last year I kind of like loosely observed the Tour de Fleece. This year I actually joined a team. I joined the Stash Dashers team. I was in a cabana with a group of people. It really was fun to engage with people. I learned so much. It added quite a lot to the sense of community. Last year, like I said, I think I just kind of loosely observed. I don't know how closely I followed Tour de Fleece. I have a tendency to just sort of really introvert and not want to like join the team and do all that kind of stuff, but I really, really enjoyed it this year. I'm pretty sure I did spin every single day of the tour. So that was great. And once the tour finished, I did continue. I don't think I've missed a day of spinning since. One of the big things that I was learning on during the tour was my supported spindle. I have since added a second one to my collection. So yeah, really getting into the supported spindle. I have a finished something from every one of my spinning implements except for my wheel. On my wheel, I was working on my alpaca, which I started with 500 grams of alpaca last year. I spun 200 grams of it last year, leaving me with 300 this year. During the Tour de Fleece, I spun, I think, 175 grams. So I have 125 grams left. The big thing with this is that the alpaca bat is pretty dirty. It sheds a lot of dust. So I am limiting my spinning on it to when I can work outdoors. And I figured, hey, the summer, it will be great to spin outdoors. And I did have quite a few days where I was able to do that. But this summer has turned out to be either really hot and muggy or rainy, which isn't great for outdoor spinning. Or I get home and settle in so late that it is mosquito central. So I haven't gotten to do as much outdoor spinning as I had anticipated or hoped for. But hey, there's still a couple of months where it'll be decent out and I might be able to take the wheel out again. Let's maybe start with the ones done on my supported spindles. So I now have 2 supported spindles. One is from Top of the World, which I purchased at the Muskoka Fiber Fest. And that was the first one that I played with. That produced this beautiful fluffy skein. This is 100% alpaca that I spun from a bat that came from these sample subscriptions that I got from Provenance Fibers. They're based in Toronto. So you can see that gorgeous fluffy halo. It came out quite fine. And I'm really proud of myself for how this turned out for my first supported spindle spin. There certainly was a learning curve, and I'm so thankful to my Cabana group for the Stash Dashers, who gave me a lot of really useful tips on supported spindling. Okay, maybe this is dating myself, but I feel like there was a trend when I was like a baby of people making little knits, especially with like kittens or something, that had like the contrasting color in a really fluffy, probably mohair white. This makes me think of that. Oh, it would be so gorgeous as like the cuff on something or a contrast. I just love the halo. Okay. My next supported spindle spin. Did I start it before I even finished the other one? I don't remember. But I ordered myself a Crevalle supported spindle, so a beautiful wood-turned spindle along with a base. And for that one, I pulled out a mystery fiber from Chaotic Fibers. So that mystery box continues to yield a great deal of fun. This was a small sample. It was about 30 grams. And this was a blended braid with definitely a wool in there, definitely some silk in these pink, purple, yellow colors. And this is what I got. This is blowing out. Why? There we go. So every color is coming out to shine in this. Both of these are just 2 plies. but gives such a light, lofty yarn. Another one really, really fine on this one. Okay, next, the most recently finished yarn I spun on my Turkish spindle. This is another one from the Provenance Yarns sample subscriptions. This was a blend of Corriedale and Black Welsh Mountain. I think that's what it was. Black Welsh Mountain. Anyways, very, very toothy, sheepy wool. So I kind of embrace the texture. It is very thick and thin, but so nice and rustic. This one took me a long time. I'm not sure why, but anyways, the tour has really gotten me to appreciate, I love a Turkish spindle. I kind of think I need to add more to my collection, but it is so fun to end up with a center pull ball when you're done, and then especially if you two-ply it, you're all set for it. So I've promptly started new spins on all of these. Yeah, all of them. Drop spindle next. Yes, I spun on every single. This is why it takes me so long to finish a spin, because I have 5 of them on the go at all times. Yeah. Yet another mystery fiber from Chaotic Fibers. This was a South American wool with white viscose tweedy neps, and another very kind of textured, thick and thin, but really enjoy how this turned out. This will be so cool for a winter accessory. Last 2. These were both spun on my electric eel wheel e-spinner. I'll start with, I think I had shown the single of this. This was the fiber braid dyed by the Frosted Stitch in the Silence of the Lambs colorway. I had spun the single and sat on it for the longest time because chain plying scares me. I know I'm ridiculous with this, but chain plying intimidates me, and I need to just be ready to do it. So when I finally shamed myself into it, I did ply it up as a chain ply because I wanted to preserve these incredible colors. And it turned out really good. I need to stop being so scared of chain ply. Anyways, my last skein of yarn. Again, on the e-spinner, this was one of the 3 braids in the Fiber Goddess Summer Solstice fiber box. So there were 3 braids in there. I just said that. They are Polwarth. This was my first time spinning Polwarth, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was very springy, which I quite liked. I started with the lightest of the 3, and it's these really soft, kind of dreamy purple, yellow, peach colors that I two-plied. I have already started, I'm probably 3/4 of the way through the next braid. I'm spinning it the same way, and I'm hoping to knit them as a gradient in some sort of project. The next one has blues, oranges, that peachy color, and a bit of pink. The final one is shades of blue. Anyways, so much spinning going on. It's been so nice though, and it's really helped me bring spinning back into my daily practice and kind of reconnecting with that. Spinning, I find, is just so good for my mental health that I really do need to make it into a more regular thing. Okay. Since I was so focused on the scarab cowl for Krista, I didn't get a ton of knitting done. Also, I was spinning so much. But I did get some. One thing that I worked on was my test for Ariana Frasca. This is the black bat cardigan, which, because it is black, doesn't show up very well. You can see a bit, there's texture, there's a lace panel here. It is a beautiful fuzzy alpaca merino blend. I've split for the sleeves and have gotten about 5 inches done since then. I haven't decided quite yet how long I want it. I don't want it kind of cropped, but I don't want it long. So I'm going to try it on as I work on it and decide where I want it to end. It also still needs sleeves, which are probably going to end up being bracelet length. So this is probably going to be the main project that I focus on this month. All right. Other thing that I was working on was my Attune shawl using my hand spun. And this, I have been loving working on this. So it has grown quite a bit. This is the right side. Here's the wrong side. It's giving Swamp Witch vibes, and I am okay with that. So this is knit using a merino, camel, alpaca, and silk blend from Akira Rose. I still have quite a bit of it left. My plan is to keep knitting those two until I run out and then do the garter border. But we will see just how big this gets. I mean, I love a big giant shawl, so I wouldn't be opposed to having a big, huge, enormous thing that I can wrap myself up in. So continuing to work on that project because it is giving me so much joy. I didn't mention the Attune shawl is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. Because the pattern is written with hand spun in mind, there aren't a lot of like specific directions for how many repeats. It basically says keep going until you want to stop. And I don't think there's set repeats for the garter either. I do love a sort of choose your own adventure pattern. Okay, and I have brought one project back into rotation because I need to finish some stuff. And it is one I've shown like a million times, but let's not pull out some stitches. Here's my book shawl from a couple of years ago. I am still working on that I-cord border, but it is Nearly done. So this is the last edge that needs to be done, and like I've just folded it in half here. I am more than halfway through this last edge. So I would really like to finish this month. It's a pretty good, like, don't have to think much, just keep doing a freaking I-cord the entire time. But it's not something I can do like without looking. So it's not my reading knit. The Attune is my reading knit. This is good for, I don't have the brain power for the cardigan. And I also have an update on my current book scrappy project. Yes, there are still lots of ends, but I've added 2 hexies. They're a little bit irregular here. So these 2 are the new ones. This was Radical Healing, and this was Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This was just kind of a self-help book. This was a pretty intense thriller fiction. But I love this color combo. I feel like I need to do this color combo sometime. And it doesn't look it, but I have actually sewn in some of my ends. I started in the middle, so it doesn't look like much. But these all have sewn in ends. It's the outer ones that I need to do. So I am tackling the ends. I'm actually impressed with myself. There's definitely some issues with this. I think especially the first hexie. I did not know what I was doing. And the proportions are a bit off. Like there was one edge that was longer than the others. So there's a weird little pocket of stitches there. But hopefully that'll block out. So that is everything that I've been working on and what I plan on working on for the rest of August. I have a couple of yarn acquisitions. This, I'm a little bit late, so I don't think it's available anymore, but kind of fitting given her mummy collection coming out soon. Krista's monthly club, so Krista is the frosted stitch. Her monthly club theme was Women of Egypt. This is the colorway and the stitch marker, so that classic, is it showing? Classic Nefertiti bust. Love it. Love the whole mummy collection. Like, I feel like so many people who got into archaeology got into it. Like, Egypt is like your entryway into archaeology, right? Especially reading about King Tut and the tomb and all of that. So it is really cool to kind of dive into this. I'm trying to plan my purchases for the collection, but she came out with too many beautiful colors. Okay. Also did a little bit of like short one-night trips, not too far away from home, and stopped into some yarn shops. I went to True North in Barrie. I had no intention of buying yarn. I was going to be good and leave there without purchasing anything. But my partner found something he wanted. So I have a skein of Mecca by Malabrigo. This is called Wasi Sabi. Kind of a tealish blue. Very much his kind of colors. So this is going to be a hat for him. We also popped into the Muskoka Yarn Connection in Bracebridge. We go to Bracebridge all the time, and I had no idea there was a yarn store because it's not really in the central downtown area, and it's not really obvious when you drive in. But I think it was Lynn who told me, Lynn from my knit group, about her store, and I finally went in. I didn't go the day of the yarn festival. I went on a separate day, but anyways, she dyes her own yarn in the shop, and I had to get one of her hand dyeds. So it is Muskoka Yarn Goddess, the line, and this color is Morning Dove. Very pretty and soft. Not usually what I go for. She has this whole series inspired by the group of 7, and I really wanted to get the one inspired by A.Y. Jackson, but she didn't have any of those, so I went with this. We've got an interesting Sudbury tie with A.Y. Jackson because he had painted a painting showing Onaping Falls, which is a little bit outside of the city. It had been hung up in one of the high schools and it went missing. Nobody has seen it since. I don't even know if there's any like documented photographs of what the painting looks like, so it's kind of a mystery. Like, if you've seen Onaping Falls, you have an idea. But yeah, so that's kind of an interesting thing. Okay, last one. Also, for my partner, at the Muskoka Yarn Connection, he saw a knit sample using this sock set from Timber Yarns. It is a DK sock set in her marled colorways. This one is called Aruba. Kind of a turquoisey, yeah, can you tell what colors he likes? Turquoisey marled with black. There is white to use on the toe heel cuff, and a little mini that is like marled gray, also to be used on the cuff and possibly toe, I don't know. Anyways, these are going to be kind of work style socks with a twist, and I love Timber Yarns. I have bought so much of her self-striping yarn, and I think I still have 1 or 2 skeins at home. So happy to support another Canadian dyer, especially one who is so great. But yeah, those are my purchases. Some have very clear goals in mind. More than likely I'm going to get those socks and the hat done before the year ends, but not anytime soon. Yeah, it's been really, really hot in Northern Ontario. Not something that we're very used to, and it's been very humid, which has made it quite uncomfortable. Things have quieted down. Still going through a lot with my mom. She had one surgery in July and will be having a second one this month, and hopefully we'll be starting radiation in September. So still going through that journey. And September is coming up so fast. I can't believe how quickly the summer has gone by. And holy shit, we're getting into the madness of back to school. So, yeah. Clearly, because I'm a university professor, my life is very much dictated by the academic school year. So when September hits, it gets crazy. This coming year I'll have, I don't know if I've talked about this. This coming year I'll have one undergraduate thesis student and 2 master's thesis students. The undergrad and one of the master's students will be doing a decomp study. So I need to hunt down some bones for that. It should be interesting. I'm hoping that security doesn't get called on me for anything. Teaching 2 courses in September, and I'm still working as the undergraduate coordinator. So I imagine that things will pick up very soon for that. But until then, I'm hoping to kind of make the most of the outdoor time, get as much knitting and spinning as I can done, and hopefully have a couple of days to just sit, knit, read, and just soak in the last of these summer months. I think that's it. Hope you're all good, having a great summer. Maybe you partook in Tour de Fleece. I don't know. Are you starting to turn your head towards, fall is a happy time for us knitters, right? We can pull out those pullovers and actually start to wear more of our knitted wardrobe, but are you starting to plan for the fall? Does that change your making at all? Let me know. And take care. I will see you likely when the madness starts again in September. Bye.